What is Jumptuit, and how do you work with travel players?
So you can think of Jumptuit as taking a step forward into the future to be able to have awareness of the environment that you will be facing, the conditions you will be facing 5 days from now, 10 days from now. Everything from health awareness, probabilities of health events, to climate awareness, climate emergencies, to information related to your meetings or events that you have scheduled and coming up. And it's something that's applicable to business travelers as well as to consumers as well who are traveling. And so you can think about Jumptuit in terms of future state awareness alerts and notifications. And these alerts and notifications are provided based on the probabilities that these events will impact you, and actions for consideration that are provided as well. So perhaps providing you with an alternative hotel to stay at based on the health environment at the microzone level, or perhaps a global event that we estimate will impact you and the locations that you will be at some future point in time. The same is the case for climate emergencies. So we can alert you in advance of these events, the probability that these events could have an impact, and redirect you. So it's about rerouting, rescheduling, and this is all an automated loop of data and information. So it's based on a dynamic awareness of your activities, your whereabouts, and a dynamic awareness of the environment that you will be in. So think about it as when you look at a forecast of any kind in any sector, it's about what's happening 4 or 5 days from now based on where you will be.
So it's all about predictions and data. And how can they help the travel industry to be more sustainable?
So I think there's a couple of different ways we can look at this. One is, we're facing climate emergencies already today. So we saw just a few weeks ago the events in New York City, the flooding events, the ability to, based on historical data on flood zones and historical data also on the rainfall during those periods of time when flooding occurred, the ability that allows us to predict and say, okay, there's a strong probability that an event may occur, and that it provides you with an alternative course of action, perhaps redirect you from your current plans to other plans. So, if you're going out that night, let's say you were traveling to New York and you were going out to a Broadway show, or you were going out to some concert or whatever it might be, that awareness that these events might impact those might propel you to reschedule those events for another time.
Mm-hmm. And now it's not happening. It didn't happen before. And why to you? Is it because the connections weren't there? Why is it possible now to do this?
So the problem before and currently with our systems is that the information is too siloed. So it's almost impossible without a system like Jumptuit to create an integrated data set, a single picture of an event. So this lack of integration has been one of the big problems in terms of our ability to foresee these events and to protect people. And you're quite right. In New York, there were absolutely no warnings or alerts for these events. So, 14 people died, for example, in this event, and people's lives were disrupted in a serious way. Property damage, enormous amounts of property damage, and just no alerts about the possibility that this event could occur. So it's possible now because of the technology that's been built and connecting those different data sources, connecting the public cloud, connecting it with the private cloud, connecting it with IoT devices like iPhones and other wearables that have sensors, connecting it with satellite data for atmospheric conditions, and drones that also have sensors and cameras and so on board. So when you connect all of those data sources, you can get that single picture, and based on where you will be, the schedules and the itineraries, and your ETA estimate for arrival, so your estimated time of arrival at a particular location, we can provide intelligence for that in advance and actions for consideration, alternatives that you can take. Perhaps stay at a different hotel where maybe a mile away or half a mile away in a microzone area where the COVID rates are lower, or where the air quality is better. Let's say you're flying to Los Angeles, for example. You'll have the issue of the forest fires and so on there, and some people have asthma or upper respiratory problems. So these are the kinds of things that we can foresee and make your trips not only more optimal, but also safer and protect you in that process and protect the environment in that process.
I have a surprise questions because I have an idea. Do you think blockchain can help these connections between the travel players in a more secure way?
That's a really good question. So in order to make our platform really work, and because of the complexity of the different data sources that we connect, we built a data rights matrix. And this data rights matrix basically knows down to a single data field where the data comes from. It also knows where the recipient is of the alerts and notifications or the briefings, and can apply the regulations of those industries as well as the jurisdictions, like, for example, GDPR in Europe.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.